Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Vintage Children's Book Vault. Today, I wanted to introduce you to some stories you may not have heard of by a very popular author called Natalie Babbitt. You may know her more for Tuck Everlasting or some other stories you had read growing up. But she wrote a book called The Devil's Storybook, which is a collection of short stories that are from the perspective of the devil. And I wasn't sure. I did see this book. I didn't get it for quite a while. I wasn't sure what to expect um, when I saw it. I didn't know if it would have be very religious or it would be dark. I wasn't. I don't know. I didn't have any kind of clue. And our family has some different religious perspectives, and so yeah, I wasn't sure. But going into it, I completely loved it. It is sort of in the vein, it is a humorous book. It does have some interesting moral tales in it. And if you're familiar with the BBC radio comedy called Old Harry's Game, where that is also about the devil just uh, getting into all kinds of shenanigans and just cannot catch a break. And so that is a very similar vibe to the devil in this book. He basically keeps going to Earth because he's bored. And so, just to give you, well, one, I wanted to, I'm going to bring this out here because I want to cover up the names. But if you don't believe me, I thought this was funny when going into going into the book. This person said the theology sucks, but the stories are great. If your mom won't read them to you, I will. So there's a ringing endorsement by somebody else who gave this book as a gift. But yeah, so I will say, so there's a number of short stories here. They're very quick to read, like 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes at most. And they all crack me up as a parent reading them, or as an adult. There's a lot of humor there, but I think kids really enjoy it as well, which is always wonderful, finding stories that both the adults and kids can like. um, this is not like an illustration heavy book, so this is going to be something that either an older kid would read, or perhaps you're just reading it to your children as a bedtime story or as like a story time type thing. But I just wanted to read a little bit here because it gives you the idea of the tone. So this is from Wishes, the very first book. It says, one day when things were dull in hell, the devil fished around in his bag of disguises, dressed himself as a fairy godmother, and came up into the world to find someone to bother. He wandered down the first country road he came to, and before long he met a crabby farm wife stumping along with a load of switches on her back. Good morning, my dear, said the devil in his best fairy godmother voice. It's a fine day, isn't it? It's not, said the farm wife. There hasn't been a fine day in the world in 20 years. That long, said the devil. That long, she snapped. Now it was the devil's plan that morning to make a nuisance of himself by granting wishes, and he decided there was no time like now to begin. See here, then, he said to the farm wife. I'll grant you one wish, anything at all, and that ought to cheer you up. One wish, said the farm wife. One, he replied. Very well, said the farm wife. Here's my wish. Since I don't believe in fairy godmothers, I'd wish you'd go back where you came from and leave me alone. So, so anyway, yeah. So he comes one after another. That's the tone of the stories. They're very funny. And the humans always, it's like goodness and honesty always prevail over evil, or like selfishness or greed or anything like that. There are illustrations in the book, and they were illustrated by Natalie Babbitt herself. So those complement each of the chapters, and you just see here. But yeah, this devil cannot catch a break. He is very just bored. Um, I do think most of the tales, I think almost all of the stories in here, do have a very clear message, except the imp, which you saw there with the friar. Um, this is real good. So anyway, definitely recommend the Devil's Storybook. And then I went out and I got the second one, and it continues the tales of the devil And the devil is one of the things about him, which um, he's very relatable, and that he deals with a lot of things that are just a pain in the butt to deal with. So, disobedient pets, people that won't listen to him, just you feel for him, but goodness always prevails, and so that makes it a more fun read as well. But the fortunes of Madame Organza, Justice, a soldier, boating, and then a few more that go on. And again, they're just the stories are fairly short, 8 pages, 15 pages. So they take 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes at most to read, and they continue in the same style, um, and have the similar illustrations. He's hiding his tail there. Have some similar illustrations that go along with it. So if you want a good laugh to share with your kids and also impart some interesting lessons, I would definitely recommend picking up Natalie Babbitt's The Devil's Storybook. They are a great read. They go fast, and I couldn't love them more. They're great. And I'll see you. I will continue finding some more books for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.